see this. There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Whether it's the Save Point podcast or Podcast Now Plus, I don't even know what we want to call it anymore. We do want to do it more often, but we are back, myself and Sway. So good to talk to the man, the myth, the legend once again. Sway, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. It is an exciting time for gaming. I felt like we had some concerns during Summer Games Fest as far as the hype goes. I personally enjoyed it. I thought that they brought it, but hey, Xbox left no doubt. Microsoft left no doubt. How you doing, Alex?
Looking back at Summer Game Fest, and I was pretty nice to it in the moment. My chat wasn't, and then but looking back, honestly, and I think I talked about like 13 games in a video. There was some stuff. It was a horribly inconsistent show, and it didn't have some of the more like bigger guns, right? But I think it did okay. And then I think, and the reason I title it this way, and what you and I are here to do, right? Just it was the era, that couple 2-3 weeks. We got so much, you did get a lot at Summer Game Fest, even if it wasn't all that impactful. But the Xbox show, of those 30 games, I was into like 25 to 27, like very few. I'm like every one, mixtape all the way up to like Doom, the Dark Ages. So like, I think we had a really great, as a whole, right? If you look at the state of play individually, it's weaker. But if you look at everything, we have so many more games to talk about and get excited for now than the last time you and I talked.
Yes. And I think, honestly, we got to give a round of applause to the gaming industry, honestly, because going into it, I was like, this is going to be a rough year. We're not going to have much at all. There's not going to be much to really sink our teeth into. We knew some things was coming, but then they didn't get updates. And I think that that's where the Summer Games Fest was very pivotal on, because we didn't get anything new there. We got updates on a bunch of stuff that's supposed to come out this year. And so I think that that was helpful to build our excitement for the rest of the year as far as what we're getting. And then Xbox said, okay, we got y'all on the brand new stuff here. And I think that that's what we need. I think that both shows, when you look at them from a different point and think about it in a way of, one show was giving you the update of what we're getting, and then the next one was giving you the update of things that you don't know about yet, or things that you haven't seen yet. And I think that the gaming industry as a whole, whether they meant to it or not, all serve purposes in very unique, different ways that week.
Yeah. And now, I mean, I'm working on a list for a video. There's around 25 plus games from like August to December that are of note. There's a lot coming out as usual in such short time, because of course we had to go through like 4 months of nothing to get to, they couldn't space it out better, but there is a lot coming this year. Xbox really showed a lot of what's coming next year. The next year is Xbox's year, and GTA 6, really, that's 2025. So let me just quickly say hello to everybody, and check your DMs, by the way, buddy, on Discord specifically. Elvis, what's going on? Sway, you're in there. Wicked and Nick, how's it going, guys? Beat the main story of Spider-Man. Is this the first time? It's been almost a year. Oh my god. I highly doubt it took him the whole year, right, to get to that point. There's no way. Okay, what, because I've made videos, individually. I think it's pretty easy to say that Life is Strange was my game, of the past month, and now there's no game that can even touch it in terms of my excitement. So what are some, just rifle them out. What are some games that excited you?
I think the biggest one for me, and I think I remember I might have going into the Xbox press conference last year, was like, Gear 6 has to be there. And this isn't necessarily Gear 6, but it is a prequel. And it looks like a damn good one from what the CGI trailer gave us. And I am very excited about it. And that they saved the best for last. And that was what got me entirely, like, just the biggest amount of hype, excitement, everything going into it. Xbox showed off quite a few games. I'm struggling to think of some of them right now, because I'm that person.
There's one behind me.
Doom is another one. When they drop their collector's edition, I will be getting it. Let me tell you, I missed out on the last one. I will not be missing out on this one. Also, Metal Gear. I don't know if that was necessarily at I forget. I'm just blurring together.
That was at Xbox, I think, right? Yeah.
So Metal Gear is another one. Just superb.
Yeah. I didn't really want to say it in the time, but I think Silent Hill 2 has a lot of potential, but like Metal Gear looks infinitely better. Terms of the remake. I mean, it's, I didn't want to be too mean when you're talking about Metal Gear. I don't want to put Silent Hill down, but they're both timeless games, and the impact both of those games had is insane. But like the remake for Metal Gear looks unreal. Like, it's insane.
Unreal. Struggling to think right now because there was
a more like under the radar one for Xbox was Mixtape, which was like the on the road like driving thing with a lot of musicians. That one was cool. Expedition 33 was that Final Fantasy, Persona, Kingdom Hearts like that looked great. Then you got like the Fables and State of Decay. Perfect Dark looked good. That was a good
Perfect Dark and Fable. I know Fable has been getting a lot of flack.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a video on it.
I know Fable has been getting a lot of flack. I liked it.
I didn't mind it.
I really liked it. I am on board. Another one that is, I don't know how Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh yeah.
That demo that they showed.
Yeah.
I've seen a walkthrough because some of the content creators that didn't get to go to Ubisoft specifically to play it, they were given more footage. And some of them talked over it, some of them didn't. But just the environments, the gameplay itself, there's some portions where I'm like, I can see this getting old a little bit. But the exploration that it looks like what possibly blew me away the most was I didn't know that they were going to allow for that much exploration that we're getting.
Outlaws is a game that's just going to have to either come together or not.
Yes.
Like, the final package is it's hard to fully trust a Ubisoft game, and they did it themselves, sure. But it has potential and you can see it. But some games like just look so good, like a Doom trailer looks so good or whatever, and then when you see Outlaws, it's like, well, you can kind of see this or that doesn't. But it's just a game that always has kind of felt like that, where there's always been positives and negatives, so you can see very clearly. And it's just, the game's going to come out. I think it's going to be like a solid game. It's going to get like 7s and 8s. Like, that's the type of game that I think it is. And maybe it surprises people, but.
And I don't think that it, a lot with Ubisoft is normal. A lot of their backlash is self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Those price points for that game and Assassin's Creed are insane. Absolutely insane. And it's just like every time somebody's going to give you a compliment and we're like, oh my God, this looks good. And then you do that. And I'm like, you undercut your own momentum every single time.
Yeah.
That is two cases where I'm like, they both look like really good games, and this was almost a smooth transition, and it just wasn't.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft did good, I think, for the games that, and I was actually quite happy with seeing Sands of Time, just a quick, let's give you the name again, and then 2026. I mean, I'll take that for Splinter Cell too, but they didn't do that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Ubisoft was okay enough. I think Nintendo did a really great job. I mean, Metroid is back, and Zelda, and I mean,
Capcom versus
yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's what a couple of these comments are too. Marvel versus Cap. I mean, that's a huge one that I think a lot of the fighting game, like Maximilian, all that, like they were into it when they showed it. And Nintendo really covered a lot of bases with their stuff, and they have a way of doing it without while they limit themselves, because they say it's only 6 months, or we're not going to show the Switch 2, and they still do a really, really nice job of giving some games. But yeah, Metroid. Do you think Metroid, it has to be also on the Switch too, right? There's no way it's just on the Switch.
It has to, but I mean, going before the Nintendo Direct, I was under the impression that it had to be there because this was reaching mythical status at this point. All right. For the last time we seen it, heard anything about it, for how long it has been in development, how long we've known about it. This is reaching cyberpunk territory. It's gotta be like now, right?
Yeah, I mean, oh my God. I mean, I'd really like to know what they've been doing for 7 years, because there's always the rumors too that it was done and they were sitting on it. I don't think that would be true now, right?
No.
So yeah.
I also think I'm excited for it because the last time we had this was Breath of the Wild, where they were sitting on that game for a long time, and we're
yeah.
like, "What have you been doing?" And then Game of the Generation.
That's a good comparison, I actually think, because of was Breath of the Wild shown for Wii U first or no?
Wii U
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, so that kind of reminds me then of 4. All right, let's get a couple of these comments and we'll just keep going. Didn't get Spider-Man 2 until April. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. You were probably waiting for the DLC. Sway, do you actually think I feel like this DLC for Spider-Man 2, I feel like so many people just like think it's real, but we never got confirmed. Like the leaks didn't even show DLC, right?
No,
Like I think people made up that there's DLC coming and then they kind of just like latched them. I don't think Spider-Man 2 is getting DLC.
no, I think we're trying to will it into existence at this
Yeah,
point.
I think that's what it is.
I think that they're doing the updates that they're providing, adding new suits and stuff like that. Like I think that
I
is
like that. Yeah.
a very good thing, and I think that right now PlayStation is killing it across there. I don't know if Shift Up can necessarily count as a PlayStation studio because I believe they're not.
Right.
However, even the updates that they're giving Stellar Blade to this day, like at a quicker time than Spider-Man even got them. I just can't. There's a lot of good things going on right now as far as updates go, but there's no chance. Yeah. I'm not gonna say no chance. I don't think that there's a good chance that Spider-Man is getting DLC at this point. I believe that they're looking at just all the options between Venom and between how much they can just make off of just selling this at like full price or half price.
Yeah,
and they're not gonna risk anything on DLC at this point.
Yeah. Perfect Dark has me. Yeah, Perfect Dark looked like the Deus Ex type thing that I've wanted since Deus Ex, and it looked way better than I thought it was going to look, to be honest with you. Fable, yeah, Fable. I agree with, like, overall I liked it. I'm actually, like in the last couple of days, right? I've done videos on I think Quidditch, Dragon Age, and then I looked at Fable. I did Doom, and I actually did not know the divide with Quidditch. Like Quidditch got
me neither.
Quidditch got destroyed, and I don't think that was actually all that fair. But Fable, I kind of assumed because of the girl, right, and her looks. I kind of thought it's not as bad as like last year's, but I think it's more dislikes than likes. And I mean, they showed more. I think the issue I could understand the gameplay they showed was very quick, right? It was snippets, and maybe that was the problem. Like I feel like it's gonna be okay. And it looked pretty dynamic, with her like throwing the sword at the guy on the cliff and stuff. But it was very short, and you could make anything look good. I would agree with that, right? You can make anything look good in short bursts. But yeah, I mean, I think she looked better too. I think visually, like her talking to people in the beginning, I think it looked great. I think people are also kind of mad or people are wondering, can you change the gender if they think it's just her or whatever? I think it's her and then a male, and that's it. But you can't change like the face and stuff. So
I will also add on to the Quidditch thing a unique perspective, because until I watched your video, I'm a moderator in the Discord. All right, so I knew I was just completely just caught off guard. I was like, wait, there are people who like absolutely just are destroying this game, and it was because it's not like that in the Discord. And like normally in every Discord I've ever been in or moderated, you can see the divide, or you can see it's just peaceful in there. And I was assuming that everybody was happy, we're excited. And then I'm like, okay, then I went on Twitter and I just typed in Quidditch and I started seeing it for myself, and I was like, oh, okay. It's my first experience here.
It's the looks. It's the I mean, even from my video, like the main thing I get is it's the visual style, which it's why I'm very. And I've been pretty open. I'm pretty upset that they're not letting people talk about the playtest. I think that's a wrong move. I mean, I said it for Suicide Squad. I don't think I'm going to get in trouble. Like, there's a lot of positivity to be had from letting people speak. Way more here than Suicide Squad, because I think you quickly realize the visuals don't really matter, like, at all. So I wish you could say that with like proof, and other things, but they won't let you, which is a very dumb strategy. But it is what it is. I think they still like me, the developer, so it'll be okay. But yeah, no, quit it. I was so happy, man, and I was so happy to see it. Let's see. Fable getting the Yeah, Fable's had that for a while now.
Yeah.
You think if MVC sells well, that there would be a big step in a brand new addition to the series? I think so. I think pretty much anything like that has a reason for like existing, right? To kind of reinvigorate something.
I would say it depends. If we're looking for a new one, right? And the only reason why I say it possibly wouldn't is going back to months ago when we heard about the Capcom, not the Capcom, the Marvel license, and just how much these IPs cost to just license out.
Oh yeah,
and it depends on how much both parties are going to ask the other to just make this happen.
Yeah.
What's going to be the return on investment? How much would they need to sell in order to make a profit off of this thing? And how much of a profit do each side want to make? I believe in the current landscape and structure of the gaming industry right now, I would want that. I'm always down for it, especially in the FGC. I give it to me. But I just don't know how possible that is on the business end of things, and if that makes sense for both companies business wise right now.
Yeah, you can tell there's an appetite. So I think it. I think it should do well sales, but yeah, to your point, it depends on how much. Okay, what's your opinion on Drag? So my opinion was pretty okay, all things considered. What about you? What do you think?
This is tricky because I actually cannot speak on this game.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, that I actually really cannot speak on it. That really throws a wrench into it. Okay.
I loved what I seen from the game. I loved the trailer, just in talking about what they showed. Yeah. Loved it. But I would not go past that.
I think you and I need to speak off camera very soon. No,
I've mentioned it to you before. A while ago.
Yeah. I think you did. Yeah. You did. I think the first trailer, too cartoony, like Apex Legendy type, like too many colors, Guardians of the Galaxy-esque. I did not mind the gameplay. 20-minute break. That was one. Quidditch, I was pretty shocked to see the divide. Fable, I expected it. This I thought the gameplay, because I remember watching it the first day, the gameplay, and I can see the likes, dislikes, right? And it wasn't that bad. But now it's pretty bad. And you could say whatever, like it could just be manufactured and stuff, but I think there are people genuinely mad with the direction it's, but I liked Inquisition. So I mean, the combat here looks good. If it's got solid story and characters, like, I'm not looking for it to change my life. At the same time, it's been 10 years, so I think
it needs to bring something spectacular.
Yeah, I think for BioWare, outside of my own thing, it needs to do really well, needs to sell well, it needs to reinvigorate the company, which is a lot to ask for a game that is so divided right now, because they don't have too long to get people positive on it. But I think it'll be word of mouth. Like if the game is good, I think a lot of the, if there are complaints of woke stuff or what, I think a lot of that stuff would go. If the game is, it's just got to have a good story, characters, the combat, you almost just have to accept it if you're into it or not into it. So, yeah. Well, that was tough. I didn't mean to throw you a handicap.
Oh, no, you're fine. It didn't do anything. I didn't say anything, damn me. So
yeah, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. Okay, Sway, if you're a Life is Strange. Okay, yeah. All right. So now they're putting you under the gauntlet. Now I'm putting you under. You better be saying nice things about this one.
Life is Strange is ironically something that so I started. It was a game that I started, never finished, and then about I'm gonna say a month or 2 months ago, me and a friend were like, technically playing it together, but we were taking turns on decisions and stuff like that. And I ran through the first game, the second game. Then
there's the prequel, which is Before the Storm. Yeah.
Yes, and I am a new fan. Okay. I am a new fan. I wish I would have gave it a further look when the first one originally came out. But as a person that has gotten the full experience over the last 2 months, I'm very excited for it. Yeah. This will be the first one that I purchase. I am very excited about it. I'm very excited about them bringing characters back. I am just very excited about the whole thing. And I can only speak to, as like, I'm going to say, a 2-month-old fan now.
Yeah.
I am extremely excited about it. Can't wait.
I can feel the passion from the fan. I mean, it's 9 freaking years in the making. I don't know, like it. No, honestly, like it's super because it was such a big fan group, kind of under the radar at the time, but the game sold so well, and it's. I don't think they know fully. Like I think they're trying to be respectful to Max and all that stuff, but I don't think they actually know how big this game could be because there's millions upon millions that the game could sell a couple million immediately. And it's actually almost sad. I saw people in even my comments saying, like, you might be, not that I love Max, but you might be stuck with her forever because it seems like only her games will sell. The other game, all the other games did not sell. 2 didn't sell. True Colors didn't sell. Yeah, so I don't know. By the way, a couple days ago, for those Life is Strange fans in the comments, I drove through the town in Colorado that True Colors was based off of. Yeah, I took a couple pictures, but it was on the highway, so I didn't get the greatest. But it's only 45 minutes away from me. Is that's like a ski resort type kind of? It's cool. It's a nice area. So,
how well did they depict it?
They did it more like winter, like it had more of like a wintry kind of feel in the game than because it's in the middle of June. But they got like the rustic kind of like old town where it's like these old kind of stores and stuff. Like I think they matched it quite well. And Deck 9 is here. Deck 9 is only like half an hour away. I'd love it if I could like go visit their studio. That'd be freaking sick. Can't believe I'm excited for a Activision and Konami, but not a Ubisoft still has the tables turned. Konami, I imagine, for Metal Gear and See, Call of Duty, still not really into, but I'm gonna play it because it's on Game Pass.
Same. Yeah.
So why not? I've seen something about PlayStation Home coming to PS5. It's a massive. They have such potential to do PlayStation Home again, and they just choose not to. Why they didn't? Here's the thing: why they didn't do PlayStation Home on VR or VR2? That easy. It's a I don't even know, Facebook like the metaverse type thing. You have it as an app to the VR headset you're trying to sell. Easy.
The decisions that they make sometimes, a lot of times now, is just mind-boggling. I honestly have no idea what the.
Sony's working through it right now.
They are. to their credit, they're turning around a lot more quicker than a lot of other studios.
Yeah.
So that's more than I can say for others.
I mean, I can only imagine, man. Like you can tell there's been some shifts like with inside PlayStation, like since Jim Ryan left. I just can't imagine what the meetings were like the day he left, and then they said like we need massive like change here. Changes. And they're doing it, and like you said, they're doing it pretty fast. You got TMNT Shred. Did you see the Power Rangers one? I mean, come on.
I did. I am actually very excited for that because I loved Shredder's Revenge. Yeah. Shredder's Revenge with friends, even better. It is hilarious. All right. And for those that like to have a beverage, up that times 10 with friends, and that is absolutely hilarious. The coordination. It is.
Those games are good. I mean, Scott I love Scott Pilgrim back in the day. And then, I mean, it's back in the day. I mean, it went long before Scott Pilgrim, but like the newer age retro beat 'em ups, right? Bringing it back. Scott Pilgrim was so good. Shredder's Revenge, I feel like came out of nowhere, at least to me, and it became a big thing. And Power Rangers, just immediately in that trailer, you're like, yep, they know what they're doing. Like, it's got all the key features you'd want. Yeah, I was gonna mention this to you. So what do you think about the Marvel vs. Cap not coming to Xbox? Or isn't going? I thought it was going to PlayStation.
Yeah, I thought it was going to PlayStation.
I think it was just Xbox that they were, because people were, pointing that out with the Xbox community.
As far as I noticed, it was only not like the only system it wasn't going to was Xbox.
Xbox, yeah.
Which I think is
it's an odd choice.
Okay, so here's my thinking, right? And me and you, I think, are the same. We don't really subscribe to the console warrior thing, and this is not me standing up for one company versus the other. However, if I'm looking at this objectively, and I'm looking at this for like the health of two different companies, right? Xbox is now one of the biggest publishers in the industry. Yeah. And they've obviously tried to play fair. They're continuing to try to play fair. They're going to bring in more Xbox games to the PlayStation console. Phil Spencer technically has not lied yet about the titles he said that wouldn't go, which is why I'm kind of like waiting to see, because he said that the flagship ones like Halo and stuff like that probably wouldn't make it over, but ones like, Starfield and others probably would, and things like that, or at least was hinted towards. Um, and you just see moves like that, and you kind of go like, why would I continue to help you if you're not helping me trying to help the gaming industry as a whole? Because if and one thing comes out on all platforms, that's good for everyone. But if somebody's not playing ball and they're going to continue to make exclusive profit off of their stuff without sharing it with the industry, but then you continue to do it, that's only going to hurt you in the long run, kinda, only because now you're still making money off that product, but now you got a whole list of products that isn't coming to you, but a lot of your products is now going the other way.
Yeah.
You're missing out on money yourself now doing that as well.
Yeah.
So for the spirit of like, as a consumer, I think it's an anti-consumer move to have it not on all platforms, but I can understand from a business decision why you wouldn't want to. But I just don't. I guess what I'm saying is I don't feel bad if Xbox pulls certain games and just say like, hey, we're not doing this, because they're trying to do it and you're getting reports that they're doing more, and you still have this going on.
Yeah. They're like, all things considered, they're almost trying to play nice, and then they're still being like shafted by a company. Yeah, it's not a great look, and they seemingly are trying to play fair. I actually skipped this comment. Do you think there'll be a Destiny 3? I think for sure, right?
For sure. Yeah. They just wrapped up with their last DLC, the last big expansion, and
Marathon is first, I think, right? And then I imagine Destiny is after that.
Has to be.
I want to be excited for a new Call of Duty, but I hope I don't have to make an account just to play the campaign. Oh yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty, but don't they do it so like? Isn't this game going to be like again the biggest game of all time in terms of download, and it's not even on the disc? Remember there was something on Twitter about that. Certain files aren't on the disc. It's like I hate it. I hate it so much.
We are both physical gamers first. And for game preservation purposes, I don't like that at all. I will say that my best experiences with Call of Duty has been the Black Ops series. My favorite Call of Duty of all time is Black Ops 2. I was very disappointed with Black Ops Cold War, and that was the last Call of Duty that I actually purchased. So I am probably going to get this game out of curiosity as well, because if Treyarch has been the only company I really trust with Call of Duty at this point, and even then they've proven that they can drop the ball. So I am looking to see if this is going to bring that excitement and just the feel of what the classic Call of Duties and what made people love Call of Duty in the first place. I'm looking forward to see if that's back now.
It's a big opportunity because this is going to be the most played in the last 10 years. So it's they got a big chance to capture a lot of new people or alienate all of those. Either way, it's going to be fun. And I'm excited to be able to participate, in the hate campaign or in the loving it and, kissing up to it. I can't wait. Did you see the Capcom community poll? Yes, the Dino Crisis. Yeah, I think they're going to do it. Whenever Capcom puts things in polls like that, they end up doing. I mean, they've done it with Resident Evil in the past and stuff. So
there was also another poll that they did.
I saw it. Yeah,
that Devil May Cry, that Dante and Devil May Cry 1. And I'm like, can we make it happen, Capcom? Can I get something?
Well, I think now that Dragon's Dogma 2 is done, and they a lot of them were doing that, right? So I imagine you might have to tweet it a little bit longer. But if they were to start making it, it would probably have been in the last 6 months. So I think it's gonna happen. The last one sold really well, and I think
really well.
Yeah, they'll do it. Don't you worry. Would love to see Sony put SOCOM, State of Emergency, and the Warriors game back with the power of the new emulator. I don't know. I've never heard of the Warriors or State of Emergency.
Have you ever seen the Warriors?
No, I have to look it up.
That is a
what
movie.
Is it? A shooter?
So the Warriors is based off of a movie, a classic movie, and I have you ever heard the term Warriors come out to play?
No.
That's what it's from. But I love that movie. It's actually one of my favorite movies of all time. The game I did enjoy a lot. I would love to see that come back. I would love it. I would recommend watching it. It is a very unique premise that is not done current day. And if there was a movie that was going to be turned into a show, I believe it would be that, to explore the different teams or gangs involved. Fantastic.
I'm watching it now. It looks good. PS2 game, huh? Yep. I'll have to. I like to pick up PS2 games. All right. I'm a SOCOM guy. I mean, I would definitely sign up for SOCOM.
Same, right, well, SOCOM for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about Sparking Zero. Okay, well, we're a man of the people, so let's talk about it. Honestly, unbelievable. Like, I almost feel it doesn't get. I feel like every Dragon Ball fan understands like how big it is and how amazing it looks, but I also just feel like it's not really being talked about. You watch gameplay for this game, any game, it looks like the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life. And I say that without exaggerating.
No, it absolutely, to me right now, it just might be. If there is one game that I have been like searching videos on just for like content creators' opinions, new footage, that is the game. Yeah. The collector's edition, I was late to the party on actually getting, so I'm waiting until they put more up, but it's on the wish list, so more is going up. But as a person that has still to this day, every Dragon Ball Tenkaichi game, there is like all three of them, the Budokai series, the Berserk. I just love this franchise. I had Dragon Ball Z games on Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color.
Oh yeah.
It's just all everywhere. It just to see the love that was put into this game, and a lot of the inputs, if you've played any of the old Tenkaichi games, a lot of the inputs are the same. It is literally the amount of love that they put into the what if aspect that they put into. You can either play the story as it's meant to play out, or you could play the what if portion and make those decisions. You can even create a story, which reminds me of create a story on the older WWE games that was on the PlayStation 3. And that's going to add expansion to the lifespan, because you're going to get a different story every time, and you can play somebody else's story that they made online. And it's just so much, the features, the love, the care that is put into this game as a lot. And I never really talk about Dragon Ball because it's just a lot of other stuff that is more commonly made. But it is one of my biggest, I would say, fandoms. I would say wrestling, Star Wars, comic books, Dragon Ball. And to see just all the detail, it just woken up this like Dragon Ball fandom that has been dormant with inside for so long. And I'm just like when a kid at the candy store. I mean, I think on Twitter the other day, I put out the figures that I've still been collecting. And just, you know, like I'm seeing this matchup a lot between Broly and Gogeta. I'm just like, this is insane.
I saw that gameplay, actually, that specific one. Yeah. No, I mean, like the colors of it, just like when you see the battle and you see all the energy blasts and just the colors like radiating off of them, it just looks so pretty. Like it's such a great art style, and it just looks beautiful. Like, I don't know, and that's just the looks. Like, it just looks like Dragon Ball. And then, like you said, the smaller kind of the smaller things of throwbacks or whatever, or inputs or anything like that. Like it is going to sell on it. It reminds me in a way of like Hogwarts Legacy, in the sense that like you can kind of sense that it's going to do just unbelievably well. And I think I saw a Twitter thing because I want to do a video. I think Naruto, one of the Naruto games, has sold 16 million units, and it's the highest selling of like all of those type of games. And the tweet was like, do you think Dragon Ball would beat it? I think it could. 16 million, that's a lot. 16 million is a ton. But I feel like everybody is united that like we're all getting it, you know, day one. So I don't know. I think it's going to happen.
It has that visual appeal. And I say this like, as far as like think of all the fighting games that came out over the last year between Tekken, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat. All of them had impressive trailers, but the reason why I say Street Fighter have the most hype, because the visual presentation, those colors pop, the way that each characters, when they do the drive system, the colors that just pop off on the screen, the characters, how vibrant everything is, it just catches your eye easily. And I think that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero just took that and just ramped it up a lot.
Yeah. it's just so cool to look at that even if you're like a moderate fan or a slight fan, or you played one Tenkaichi game back in the day, like you look at any gameplay, any trailer of Sparking Zero, and I think you're like immediately in. I don't know. I see a community uniting, unlike some of the other communities out there. It's going to do well. It's gonna
and I don't
really
think that this is going to have the problem of all fighters gets this where like they love it the first few months and then like everybody hates it. This is unbalanced. I don't think that's going to happen.
This game is unbalanced purposely. They said that
purposely. Yeah, that's why I don't think it's going to happen. Everybody's going to walk in knowing like, hey, this is what it is.
Right.
Certain characters hit harder than others. You got to deal with
it. Yeah. This COD has been in development for 4 years. They're usually 2 to 3. Well, that's good. Day you asked for stories regarding Doom 2016. I literally just played it the day before. Look at that. I pick good. I feel like I have a Nostradamus like sense of like when to talk about certain games. Everything should be on disc. Did you get the Spark? What collector's editions do you have pre-ordered right now? That's probably a better question to ask you.
Ooh, okay. So,
it's been a while since we talked, so I don't know what you bought.
I got Assassin's Creed pre-ordered.
Okay.
I got Sparking Zero pre-ordered. Well, no, I'm going to get Sparking Zero. I couldn't get to the collector's edition in time, but I'm waiting for the restock. So that's when I'm going after. I'm considering the Metal Gear one right now. I'm not fully committed to it yet, but I'm thinking about it. And right now that's honestly it, which I'm shocked, but I'm waiting. Some of the games that I might get one for, they don't have anything announced for it yet, so I'm kind of just waiting on to see how a lot of things play out.
Yeah,
but if Gears of War gets one, for example, I'll pre-order that. If there was another one, Fable gets one, I'll pre-order that. But those are all games that are not necessarily this year's issue per se.
Yeah, you don't have to worry.
So I ain't gotta worry about it yet. But right now for this year, it's just Sparking Zero. I'm going to try to get. And
was Sparking Zero the Broly statue? Or
yes, that's actually my favorite character. If there was a collector's edition,
I'm trying to picture the collector's editions of each of these as you're saying.
The Wukong one too. I'm thinking about that one as well.
That one looks pretty sweet.
I don't know if it's still available though. That's when I'm because I know it went up. But the Sparking Zero one is Ultra Instinct. Goku and Broly like about to clash. It's this giant set piece with rocks and everything. I don't know where I'm gonna set it. But I gotta get it. Something's gonna move.
Yeah, or you just gotta build a shelf like from Home Depot or something,
Yep, I'm thinking of putting a shelf right there above that poster.
I located that just now. I think that would be a good spot. Let's see. I wanted to do a Back to the Past video on the COD games last year, but the thing is, like the older game, I wanted to go in order, and I couldn't. I remember actually like deeply looking into it. I couldn't find one of them, and then I wanted to kind of do some of the newer ones, but they're still $60, $70. Like they're still full price games. I didn't really want to do that because I'm not a huge COD guy. But if they put them on Game Pass, which it sounds like they'll do it after the new. Like they'll do the new COD and then they'll start putting which is kind of dumb, but whatever. Then I will play the old COD games and do it. Francis Ford Coppola film. Which one's that? The Warriors one or the State of Emergency one?
That I don't know.
Oh dear. Is it based off a movie?
I have no idea what they're talking about right now.
Play Warriors on a modded Vita. I've always been afraid to mod but I played my Vita a week ago, and I played Resogun and Bastion on it. And let me tell you something, that Vita still holds up quite well. Would get instantly canceled. I'm going to have to look up the State of Emergency because I looked up the Warriors one. Did you hear the physical version of Black Mist won't have a disc, just a code? I did not know that for Black, but it seems like a lot of games are that way. Yeah, a lot of games are doing that now, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of, although, I'm not contracted to only say positive things about Life is Strange. The collector's edition for Life is Strange doesn't have the game with it. I think it's $70 or $80. You buy it, which I might do. It comes with all this stuff, but you still have to buy the game separate, which is unheard of, right? Because normally it's collector's edition with the game, but the game's not actually there. It's digital. That's normally what we've gotten. Now Square Enix has gotten to the point where they're going to give you the collector's edition at no game literally at all. You have to buy that separate. So it's like two different SKUs which is very weird. And I will do it. I will, I don't care. But I mean, I do care. I care, but I'm also a hypocrite. So I'm going to support it anyway.
What about the Alan Wake collector's edition?
Not a big fan of what they did with that one.
Me neither. I wasn't a big fan. I like the collector's edition. I'm just like, I don't like how you're doing it.
Then it came out, right, that only like half the game base, or not the end of the DLC is even going to be on the disc. The thing is, because I was kind of vocal. I was definitely vocal leading into it. I wasn't so vocal once they started doing it. But I saw people say like, well, you asked for the disc, then they gave you the disc, and now you're complaining. But that's the issue, isn't it? It's like they didn't do it for a year. Then they finally make a big deal on it and give you the disc, and then the game's not on the disc. But the whole point of the entire community this whole time was to get we wanted it physically. We wanted the preservation side. And then when you kind of do it, you leave out some of the code, so that is like people are saying, well, why are you doing it? Well, that's why. That's literally the issue, And
I just don't there's so many different ways to handle these things. Like if you're going to sell a collector's edition, you can either make half the stock and just make half of it for disc and half of it for not, just like you do consoles. There's discless ones and there's ones with disc.
Yeah.
There is just an abundance of ways you can handle it. I believe that the last game that handled, even though their collector's edition didn't come with a physical edition, I would say Spider-Man, I could respect what Insomniac did with Spider-Man, because that entire game is on that disc. And it's a shame that we would have to say, when was the last time a company actually did that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where we are, and we are well beyond that. And now a lot of companies are going this direction. And when you have games like, say, Suicide Squad, where let's face it, we're going to be concerned about if we get that update that's going to put the game offline fully and things of that nature.
Because they still haven't done it. They still haven't done it.
Game preservation is a very serious thing, and that's why I like all my games physical. But what's the point of, we're asking for a disc for an entire year so we can preserve this game, and you give us a disc and say, well,
it doesn't preserve the game.
that defeats the purpose of what we asked for. Like, right. Yes, we're going to complain because you just gave us a physical item just to say, like, hey, we gave it to you. Like, it's disingenuous.
Yeah. Well, that's like, you can put it on your because Sam Lake even said, like, on your shelf and stuff. Well, you can put it on your shelf, but a big part of it too is some people do have the old consoles, and 10 years, 15 years from now, some people will still have PS5s, and you'll wanna play it. Yeah, it's oh man, I didn't make a video on it, and I might now that we're getting angry. Bastion was an amazing game, and I think it's aged actually quite well. Yes. Okay. So I see people are, there's an uprising for me to do Naruto games. I have good news for you people. I previously have 2 Ultimate Ninja ones, and then I just bought 2 more in the last week. Okay. So Alex is a man of the people, and you're going to get, I'm not telling you I'm going to play all 4 of them, but I have 4 Naruto games. I'm going to build the whole collection out, and I'm going to play them. Yeah. I thought they were asking, we should just get more Naruto games in general. That'd be pretty sick, but let's focus on Dragon Ball. But no, I have 4 of them, and I have, what I saw. So you have all 3 Tenkaichi games physically?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I took a picture one day.
Oh my god! The 3rd one is like $200, right? You could make some. You didn't know that? The 3rd Tenkaichi game is over $200 if you sell it.
I won't sell it, but that's great to know.
maybe you can rent it to me though, because I have Budokai 1 and 2, and I found Budokai 3 in a store, $10 cheaper than the average, no manual, and I said, can't do it.
I'm gonna go dig them out after this and just upload a picture on Twitter.
I want to say take a picture. I want to say that I'm gonna look it up. I think the 2nd one is also worth over 100, but I know the 3rd one, Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi. Yeah, let's look this up.
That's weird. The first one isn't worth.
No, the first one's not. No.
That's wild.
2nd, oh my dear God, do you have a manual for them?
I felt like I kept everything in the box.
If you have a manual for, oh wait, this is 3. Yeah, 3 you could easily get $150+ bucks. Tenkaichi 2, About 50 or 60. 60 is more of the average. Yeah. So if you have all three, you got probably 300, easily $300+ just with that. Budokai 3 is kind of, it's like 40, $50. I need to get it. Just Budokai 3 first. Sway can play them, and you can get feedback on Tenkaichi or Naruto. I think Sway is a much better fighter than I. That's why we've never played Street Fighter together, because I don't want to. No, I would just get total. Well, the Naruto and Dragon Ball games, I feel like are quite different in the fighting style. Then just because somebody's good at Street Fighter doesn't mean that you can't maybe handle them.
It's night and day for me. Like like Street Fighter. I'm decent, but once I start getting into experienced players, because it's not something that I no longer just like I'm solely playing Street Fighters on. Oh, you can clean me up real good. So,
yeah. And Dragon Ball, I think it's just when I think of new Dragon Ball games or this one, like, will I play it online? Yeah. Am I gonna take it too seriously? No. Like, no. I grew up doing tournament mode and playing it locally, like with a cousin or something. You know what I mean? Like, where wins or losses didn't really matter, or doing the story stuff, right? So the multiplayer wins, losses, the talent level of like the player is honestly dead last of all of the factors of Sparking Zero. Making, like you said, making battles and whatnot. I'm not talented enough to like figure out, but I will definitely play other people. So like that's where I think the fun is gonna be. Actually getting the physical version of Alan Wake 2, but I haven't played the first game. Yes. I thought it was only the second DLC. Yeah, I think it's the second DLC. I think originally they said like even part of the main game wasn't on it. Then they said the DLC. It's not the worst case scenario. And the interesting thing though, I had hundreds of comments, right? Because I talked about it a lot. Hundreds of comments that told me I'm not getting the game until it's on physical. Well, it's on physical. It might not be the way we want it on physical, but it is. So I guess it's going to get a couple hundred people from me. Oh, Astro. Yes. Well, let's talk a little bit about Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Oh, my God.
That's going to clean up well as well, because remember the PlayStation 5 came out and it came with it?
Yes.
That got
the highest selling. It's the highest selling PS5 game by default. Not really selling, but no, that game. I'm going to do a video like probably next week where I rank every game in the fall. Astro is probably number 2 or 3. It just looks pure. Well, Dragon Ball, top 3. It just looks pure fun, right? It's the platformer that I've been demanding, to kind of get away from some of the open world, like Horizon type stuff. It is truly like a dream game. Again, we talk about colors and like that visual kind of pop. I mean, you see any gameplay of Astro just pops, with the colors and how it looks. And it's such a rock solid platformer too, the Astro's Playroom. So, man, to play those levels, to try to get the best time, right? Like all of the time trials, I can't freaking wait. It's a top 3 for me for the fall.
Easily. You see it. It's one of those games where you see it and you just know I'm going to have fun here. Instantly. There's going to be that. I am not going to regret this at all. My question, because I haven't looked up on it enough, do we know the price point?
60.
I mean, I'm fine with playing 60, but that's going to be my kicker of like, because I feel like a lot of people were exposed to Astro when they got the PlayStation, and because it was free. So now I'm going to be interested to see like, how does those sales and that fan base carry over now that they have to pay for it? But it's got my money.
Yeah, it's got 2 purchases right here, 1 and 2. No, it's I think it'll do really well. And yeah, I was worried about that. I think I made a video on Concord's price and on Astro's price. And one video, 1 set of comments, but the comments that I got, nobody was worried or scared. It actually felt like it was just me and just us. I'm right with you in terms of the fear of will people go from free to 60. That's a big jump. From what I've seen, there's not a fear, but will it stop 20,000 people? Will it stop 100? Will it stop like 2 million people from buying? You know what I mean? Like that's going to be the thing, because this game can easily sell a couple million. Like it's not a Mario competitor yet, but like you can really make it a legitimate platformer like IP, and it starts here. So the sky is truly the limit, and they need to just after this game, they just have to keep going and make like the next one. Like there should be some urgency from PlayStation.
For sure. And I think about that here and that now, and I'm thinking about like a game like Quidditch, for example, which we know is going to be $29.99, I think.
Yeah,
and
I think
if
it's
you
30,
get the you get like one of the higher editions, or there might be a higher edition or something that might be $10 more.
And it's free for PS Plus for the first month.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, and I look at that and I'm like, a Harry Potter IP. I mean, good on them for not overcharging on an area, because they could have made 60 people would have bought it at record numbers.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that. But I look at both games and I'm like, that's interesting. I want to see how this like translates. I'm interested in looking at the numbers for both.
Yeah.
Just seeing how this
and
goes.
they come out, I think, like 2 days apart.
Yes.
Stalker, Quidditch, and Astro all come out within like 2 days of each other, which is and that's what I mean. Like,
that's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's the greatest nightmare I could want. No, from Black Myth, right? August 20th or whatever. From August 20th to early December, there is quite, and I'll have a video to prove it. There's quite literally like 25 games I want. It happens every year. I almost feel like it's actually maybe a little bit more. Last year was insane. And man, those pocketbooks, I'm gonna request every code possible, see what happens. But yeah, it will be good to mix, right? Because like having an Astro, it's not like having like 10 Horizon games or 10 like an Avowed game will be big, but then you'll have an Astro or a Stalker to balance it, or a Silent Hill 2 is not going to be too long, but then something else, you know what I mean? So hopefully they're not all gigantic. I think that was kind of the problem. That was the problem we just had with January, February. It was all JRPG. It was Dragon's Dogma, like 50 hours, Final Fantasy, Like a Dragon, Persona, Grand Blue. They're all like 100-hour games, right? All the same time. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And yep. I do always forget about this, but Space Marine is, I think, the 9th, which is like 3 days. So if you count Space Marine, I think there's 4 games coming out within like 5 days. Yep. I don't know if I'll get it. It looks really good, but I've just never been a Warhammer person.
Same.
But it looks like, if you look at the gameplay of that one specifically, looks really good. Night Springs deals. Yes, I played it. I played it the day it came out. Actually, I never made a video on it, but it was a lot of fun. Kind of wacky, but it was good to like get back into the Alan Wake universe. I don't feel more famous after that, but it is what it is. I got 87 more days until that's cleared up.
I did see that.
I hate Wonder Woman. No, I don't. I love it. No, WB's got a real. That is the least of WB's problems with Wonder Woman. The fact that not even just me, but like they're people do want to kind of talk about it or talk positively. Some people, and not a lot. And then you silence them, and then you can only talk so much about it. And the only thing it did to me was just make me more mad that they still are not showing anything. It's embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. Everybody, they should all be embarrassed. And
because we have not seen it.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll be there when they, you know, I mean, I'm not going to, sadly for these companies that maybe don't like me, I don't go away. So I don't know. I realize we end up in the good timeline where Marvel versus Capcom. Now, see, I'm not a big when does that game, did that get a release date? Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection. Because I wasn't like, I knew it appealed to a certain group, but I didn't like, not really me, because I'm terrible at fighting games. I don't think just releasing in 2024. See, that's another game that I didn't even I'm gonna
that can just spring up on us at any time now. We don't even know how.
Yeah, it'll come out like 5 days after Dragon Ball is what's gonna happen. I have to write that down.
I'll pull my hair out, man, if that happens.
I think mid-October doesn't really seem like a spot for it, right? Maybe like not, see the way I look at it is if a game doesn't have the like Xbox did a lot, right? Like 2024 indie Avowed. If it says 2024 now, it's got to be November or December, because if it was September or October, you would have given a date already. That's exactly. Just the way that's my mentality. Is any game that still doesn't have a date has got to be almost all November or December. So Honestly, please yeah. Gaming companies are gonna get a lot of our money. I didn't did you? Still Wakes the Deep?
I did not.
Me neither. I heard from a friend that it's about like a 4 or 5 hour game. Which sounds like everybody's gone to the rapture. So yeah, I want to check it because it's on Game Pass, I think, right? So it's free. I'm currently going through Spyro 2 I'm going through Spyro 2 as a cleanser because I just played Disco Elysium, and oh my god, that game is interesting.
How do we miss Lego?
I don't know. Well, I feel like there's like 50 fall games, and we talked about a good amount.
We did. That was one where I was like, it caught my eye because I believe it was the first game that they showed, right? At the
Summer Game Fest. I think it was the opener. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was so caught off guard.
It looks so good.
And that's another game that I believe is coming to Switch as well. And is it coming to Xbox?
No.
No, yeah.
PlayStation and Switch. Yeah.
Another example.
I'm
very excited though.
Yeah, that's Sony twisting the knife right there. Is what they're doing there. But yeah, that game is probably like December. That game looks great. I mean, I've gone through an interesting character arc myself with that game because you can go back. Like when I talked the first day that I think Tom Henderson did the rumor, I think I said it was like a dumb idea. Like I was like Lego Horizon. We have like 50 other Horizon games coming. I went through an entire arc because now it's a day one. It looks great. Aloy has a personality. It, like everything's so. I shouldn't have maybe said it like that. Aloy is a solid character, but one that does lack largely a personality. But it's because of her background lore is why she doesn't have. So it's cool to see Ashley Birch be able to like flex a little because the Aloy in Lego Horizon seems really fun. So yeah, I'm pumped. I think it's going to sell so well on Switch, more than PlayStation. It's going to outsell it. Is the thing that's going to be fun
for sure.
Switch is going to outsell PlayStation for that game, and I don't think they'll care. I think that's kind of the point. I think that's why they did it.
More fans are going to buy that on Switch because the target audience is all in Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Nintendo. It's going to sell over PlayStation.
They thought up the idea, and then they said, "Ah, shoot, that's a Nintendo game." And they said, "Well, that's okay. We'll just go to them and put it on Switch."
Now that they've done this, did they go and put the first two Horizons on the Switch too?
Oh dear God. No, I think it's case, but I would not be shocked if Astro made it to Switch like in a year, right? Like because it's a platformer, but see the tough thing, Astro is so PlayStation centric with the respect and like all of the bots, right? So it's so ingrained in PlayStation that like you put it on a different console. Does that make sense? But it's a platformer. It's fun. It's a little bit more childish. Like those two games should be on Switch. So I think Astro, I don't think they would ever put the actual Horizon games, but I do think Astro would. It's $30. So you can get it on Game Pass for free. I'd recommend that. I don't really bother with fighting games most of the time. I'm just not. Yeah. I mean, games that like, if a game is too hard or if you're just not good at a game or whatever, it's like eventually there's a line where you just say, you can only be interested.
Not for me.
Yeah. You can't push yourself too far. The Rad Brad been playing, Still Wakes the Deep, and his videos are doing pretty good. The Rad Brad is like the OG. he is the original. I used to watch him for like all the stuff. Nintendo is so funny because they love staying out of the PS5 versus Series X, but then we'll do things for both. Yeah. Nintendo stays out of it, and then they'll take exclusives away from play. Like they'll have like the odd Capcom or Square Enix exclusive, and it won't be on either of the others. And then they'll help Xbox or PlayStation attack each other. Like they'll just swoop in and then back off, right?
The instigators, they are.
yeah, they really are. They're like stand on the side and like throw rocks and then like hide. That's like what they are. I think it's just a really great idea to put. Lego Horizon is absolutely a game made for the Switch. Fighting and sports games, not for me. Sports games, I think, are a little bit for me.
Sports games can be fun. Like honestly, I didn't expect me to be excited for a football game, but the new NCAA. I'm kind of excited for it. Also, Switch Sports. It's not really a traditional sports game.
Did you play the basketball update thing, or is that?
I have not played it yet. I don't
I don't know if it's out. I think it is out though. But I love playing golf on there I love playing golf, love playing bowling, love playing tennis. I'm a beast at tennis. If any of you want to see me on tennis, you will not win. And you know what? Quidditch Champions is a sport. I would consider that. I consider that.
But is it a sports? It has to be a sports game, right?
It has to be. Yeah, I think it is. I think I would. What else could it be? I don't know what to classify it as. I couldn't. I couldn't.
Good point.
I would like to think though that that's going to be a sports game, and I think that's going to have a lot of fun aspects to it.
But see, there's two different kinds of sports games. There's the sim, or like not so hardcore sim, NHL and like NFL, or Madden. But then there's like the what is it? NBA Jam. Is it Jam?
You're talking about the arcade ones.
Then there's the arcadey ones. Yeah, like they all have it. I played the hockey one growing up, but like Quidditch maybe goes into that territory where it's the more So there's different sports games. Well, in the same way, he said fighting games. Fighting games can kind of be different because of what we said. Yeah. Naruto and Dragon Ball are different than Street Fighter. There's something like racing game. There's different genres of racing, right? Gran Turismo, but then MotorStorm or Wipeout and stuff like that. Yeah. There's sometimes different ones out there. All right. Well, we've reached the hour mark, and I don't think we covered all the fall games. Is there any fall games or games we missed that you want to throw out?
I think we got everything on my list. What about you?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think we nailed it. We're going to do it more like this was our grand return, and we're not going to go away for 4 more months. We'll be back we'll be back like next week or the week after. So, we'll have plenty to talk about. And as we get closer to games, we'll cover them. I think
I hope so. I hope so.
What?
I don't know. Oh, no. Oh, like I don't know if he's talking about like the wheelhouse like of being made or like the wheelhouse of talking about. That I am confused. I'm confused.
Injustice 3 is the same category as Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Tekken, right?
Yeah, yes, that would be that. I didn't know if he was like, what about Injustice 3? Like, are we excited about Injustice 3 or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, both.
I am.
Okay.
Although NetherRealm has really taken the monetization approach with in the last couple entries, easily the last 2. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the. Didn't they charge like $10 for that Thanksgiving fatality or something? Yeah. No. They need to knock that stuff out right away, because you do that kind of toxic, predatory monetization, then you do it with a DC game and a fighting game, and
it's not going to work in your favor.
Yeah.
And that's something I would like to see Warner Brothers in general with all their DC properties change. I know that that's the direction that they want to take, but I'm hoping that after Suicide Squad, after this whole debacle that we have faced, we do not put this type of pressures on your studios, because they can look at how many people are excited for Arkham Shadows. It's a VR game.
Yeah.
They are excited. The fan base is there. They will go anywhere as long as you respect them, you respect the content, and you respect the wallets. They will go there. And I don't think that live service is the way to go. I would like to see a pivot personally.
Yep. Give me Spyro. Oh, thank God. It's about time you started the Sly collection. Yeah, I think Spyro is, especially actually replaying 2, and I played 1 like a half year ago. Spyro is like the ultimate collectathon game. All you do is break stuff and slight platforming and collect stuff, but it does it with such charm, and the way they incorporate things. Sly is more adventure type, like it's got some parkouring, but it's more actiony and stuff. Yeah, but if you like Spyro, I think you'd like Sly. Gollum takes the cake for predatory monetization. That's true. Just existing.
I was about to say, did Gollum have like?
No, I think the joke is it just costs money to buy it. I've seen Gollum on sale for $10. I don't think I've ever seen it for $5. I would get it for $5 just to do a video on it, because I've never played it. And I want to try it eventually.
I do. I'll be waiting for Epic to toss it up for free 1 month. They toss games out for free every week.
I think I feel didn't we talk about this?
We did.
Yeah, subscription services are probably embarrassed and they wouldn't want such a bad game. Although, you know, that's not true. Did you know? PlayStation Plus has been adding like triple the amount of games recently. That Crime Boss Rockay City, the one with that was terribly acted with Chuck Norris, that's on there. That's on PlayStation Plus. They just added it like a week ago. So it's not as bad as Gollum from what I've seen, but that does actually hurt my narrative that they're like afraid of bad games because that game is on PS Plus. So maybe maybe like in a year from now you do get Gollum but they shut this. Is the studio shut down? I think they shut them down, right? Or no?
I think they're shut down.
Yeah. I don't think maybe that wouldn't matter because it's Embracer. I don't know. I feel like eventually Gollum might. A subscription service just has to suck up its pride and say we're doing it for the art. You know, we're putting Gollum out for the experience, not for the love of the game, and just give it to us for free. Then I'll play it. I will absolutely play it. But yeah, all right. Well, it's Sway as usual. We come back after like half a year. The attendance is great. The chat is great. So really, nothing changed, I guess. So anything you want to say? I guess we'll be back. We'll definitely do it more often.
Yes. I love being here as always. I love seeing everybody in the chat. I love how interactive you guys are always. You always bring the questions, you bring the energy. Alex, always amazing. Talks with you, always amazing. Just the vibe, just being here. I missed it. I know Alex missed it. Yeah. And I can't wait to do it again. And I guess if I had to go out with anything, you know, as some of you know, I am doing the Devil May Cry countdown.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, the more I watch certain things. Knights of the Old Republic remake, I'm looking at you. I will count down you as well. I need stuff here. I need information. I need gameplay. I need date. Well, I don't want to date. Not until you're ready.
Yeah.
But
yeah. There's a couple. I mean, we got a lot, but there's still the Wonder Womans and the BioShocks and the games you just mentioned. A lot of games. That's always, I think, for you and me, what's so exciting about it all is there's always more to, like, it never actually ends, which maybe it's good for like ADHD people because it just like you just keep going, you know. All right, guys, we appreciate you being here. If we do it, we might do it next week. I can almost guarantee we would do it the week after is for we'll figure it out. We're gonna do it more often. We're gonna try to do it weekly. Okay. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.